In the heart of Ikeja, Lagos, lived a young lady named Amarachi. People called her Ama the Slay Queen. She was beautiful, skin like honey, hips that made men turn their heads, and eyes that sparkled like morning dew. But Amarachi had a dark secret. She was not just a slay queen. She was also a glory collector. Ama didn't work, yet she lived in a fine apartment, used the latest iPhone, wore expensive wigs, and always had money to spend. People thought she was just lucky with rich men. But no one knew the truth. Amarachi had joined a secret cult, a dark sisterhood, where they taught her how to use used condoms to steal men's destinies. It started one afternoon. She met Chuka, a rich guy driving a Benz. He stopped at the roadside to ask for her number. "Fine girl, can I talk to you?" He smiled. Oma smiled back. "Talk no. I dey hear you." Chuka took her out, gave her money, and they went to a hotel that same day. But while Chuka was sleeping, Amarachi quietly took the used condom from the trash bin, folded it in tissue, and put it in her handbag. The next morning, Chuka lost his contract. His ATM stopped working. His business partner blocked him. Just like that, everything started falling apart. Meanwhile, Amarachi went back to her shrine and dropped the used condom on the altar. The priestess of the cult, Mama Ifen, smiled and said, "You are learning fast, my daughter. With every used condom, you collect more power, more glory." From that day, Amarachi became more confident. She started hunting bigger fish, politicians, businessmen, musicians. She would pretend to be sweet and loving. They would spend the night with her. And before leaving, she would carry their used condom like it was treasure. By the end of the month, Amarachi had 10 used condoms. 10 destinies in her bag. 10 men crying and confused, wondering how their lives scattered overnight. But one day, she met someone different. His name was Tolu, a calm and quiet guy. He was not rich, just an upcoming tech bro, but something about him felt powerful. Strange. They met at a lounge in Lekki. Amarachi wore her white gown, the one that made men stammer. She smiled at him. "Why you dey look me like say you don't see spirit?" She laughed. Tolu chuckled. "Maybe I have." They talked. They drank. He made her laugh. She decided he would be her next victim. This one go blow, she thought. They went to his apartment that night. After everything, Amarachi checked the trash bin. She saw the used condom, picked it quickly, wrapped it in tissue again, and smiled to herself. "No, today your glory go fly enter bottle," she whispered. But as she dropped the condom in her bag, something strange happened. The lights in the room flickered. Her body became cold. She looked around. Tolu was no longer in bed. Then she heard a voice behind her. "You don't collect many destinies, Amarachi. But this time, you carried the wrong condom." Her heart skipped. She turned around slowly. And what she saw made her scream. Amarachi turned around slowly. Standing there, shirtless, eyes glowing faintly blue, was Tolu. But he didn't look like the same gentle guy from before. He looked like something else. His body was giving off a strange energy, and his shadow on the wall was moving like it had a life of its own. Who are you?" Amarachi asked, her voice shaking. Tolu smiled faintly. "I should be asking you that." Amarachi grabbed her bag and took 2 steps backward. "I no get time for drama abeg," she said, trying to act bold. "You went for the condom, didn't you?" Tolu asked. She froze. What are you talking about?" He walked slowly towards her. "You think I didn't notice? That every man who sleeps with you ends up losing everything." He paused. "You think I'm an ordinary man?" Her chest tightened. Her hands were sweaty. She couldn't run. Her legs were stiff. Then, in a flash, Tolu reached out his hand, and the used condom flew out of her bag by itself and hovered in the air. Amarachi screamed. "Blood of Jesus!" Tolu laughed. A deep, cold laugh. "You want to play with destinies, but you entered the wrong game." Suddenly, the air in the room became heavy. Amarachi's necklace, the one given to her by Mama Ifan, started burning her neck. She pulled it off and threw it on the floor, but it was too late. Tolu closed his eyes, whispered something in a strange language, and a spiritual wind blew through the room. Amarachi was thrown to the ground. On the wall, her reflection was moving differently, screaming silently, trying to escape. She knew now, Tolu was not a human being. He was something higher. Something ancient. She started crying. "Please, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I was just doing what I was told. Mama Ifan said I must bring used condoms or I'll die." Tolu looked down at her. His eyes were no longer glowing. "You've hurt many innocent men. You've destroyed futures. But I will not kill you." Amarachi looked up in shock. "You won't. No. Your punishment will be deeper." He raised his hand, and suddenly her bag burst open. All the used condoms inside floated into the air like balloons. One by one, they started turning into ghostly faces of men. Men she had slept with. Their eyes full of pain, sorrow, and confusion. Chuka was among them. He spoke. "You ruined me, Amarachi." "Why?" Another voice. "I lost my family because of you." Another. "My life never remained the same." Tears ran down her face. She tried to speak, but no sound came out. Then Tolu spoke again. "Until you return all the glories you stole, you will never know peace. You will be haunted by every face. And you will feel what they felt: confusion, pain, and madness." Suddenly, all the ghostly faces rushed into her body like smoke. She screamed. Her eyes rolled back. Her mind scattered. The last thing she saw was Tolu walking away, his feet not touching the ground. The next morning in Ikeja, Amarachi was seen walking barefoot on the road, talking to herself, hugging her bag tightly, laughing and crying at the same time. Some people said it was madness. Others said it was karma. But Mama Ifan, sitting inside her dark shrine, already knew what had happened. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Tolu has returned. And Amarachi has opened the door that should have stayed closed." Amarachi wandered through Ikeja, barefoot and confused, clutching her designer handbag like a baby. Her wig was hanging halfway off her head, and her makeup was smeared with tears. People stood and watched. Some recorded her with their phones. "Na that fine slay queen way they do runs be this. Huh. Wetin happened to her? Village people don't finally catch her, oh." But it wasn't village people. It was the ghost of the men she had collected. They were now inside her head, speaking to her, arguing, crying. "Why did you ruin my life? You used me and dumped me. I lost everything because of you." Amarachi would cover her ears and shout, "Shut up. Shut up. I said I'm sorry." But no one around her could see what she was seeing. She walked into a small buka and sat down beside a pot of hot beans. "Auntie, I beg leave my food," the food seller shouted. But Amarachi looked her in the eye and said, "I'm waiting for Chuka to come back. He said he'll take me to Dubai." The woman froze. Who be Chuka? But Amarachi was already talking to the air beside her, smiling and touching nothing. She was lost in her own madness. Far away, in a quiet forest near Bedigri, Mama Ifan was seated in her shrine, surrounded by skulls, calabashes, and red candles. She stared into a bowl of dark water. Amarachi's face appeared in the water, crying, shaking, mad. Mama Ifan hissed, "I want that girl. I told her never to collect from any man born under the star of Ogun. She dipped her hand into a clay pot and brought out a black snail. She whispered, Tolu, the one whose destiny cannot be touched. The one who walks with spirits. She turned to her assistant, Ngozi, and said, this is bigger than us now. Tolu is not a normal man. He is not even fully human. Ngozi trembled. Mama, what should we do? Mama even looked at her with tired eyes. We must call the Circle of Seven Sisters. This is no longer Amarachi's battle. If Tolu has returned, then he's looking for something. Meanwhile, at night, Amarachi sat alone inside an uncompleted building in Ikeja, shivering. Her eyes were red, and her voice was hoarse from shouting all day. Suddenly, the wind blew. The air changed. And then, he appeared. Tolu. But not as a man. As a shadowy spirit, tall and glowing faintly, eyes like burning coals. Amarachi didn't scream this time. She just looked up at him like a broken child. Please. What do you want from me? She whispered. Tolu spoke slowly, voice echoing in her head. You opened the spiritual gates with your greed. Now spirits can walk freely. And something worse is coming, something even you cannot run from. She crawled on her knees. Please, help me. I'll return all the glories. I'll do anything. Tolu looked at her, calm but serious. You think it's that easy? You must go on a journey. You must return to each man you destroyed, confess what you did, and help restore them. Amarachi gasped. Some of them hate me. Some have even traveled abroad. Tolu leaned closer. If you fail, the voices in your head will not just whisper. They will tear you apart from the inside. Then, he vanished into thin air. And as he disappeared, the walls of the building started shaking slightly. Amarachi held her head, crying. Where will I start from? Who will believe me? What have I done? Watch out for part 2 on my YouTube channel.